Hello everyone, this is Sandra from Nomad Stitches. Welcome to my channel again. This is video 2 of my series on crochet techniques, special crochet techniques more like. And today we are going to cover a faux I-cord cast on, which an I-cord cast on is something that's used in knitting and creates this tube around whatever it is that you are making. Now I've used this technique for a neckline on my newest design, the Teotihuacan top. Oopsie. And as you can see here, it's a nice little tube that goes around the neck, and it's just a nice break from a ribbed neck. You know, it has a little bit of stretch, not much, but enough to make it through through your head, right? So it's a really cool technique, very, very easy to use. I don't know if it existed already. I don't think I invented it, but I kind of just played with it and it turned out really cute, so I kept it. So here it is how to make it. You can use it in your own designs or to change another pattern a bit, and of course you can use it in my newest design once it comes out. Alright, here we go. Okay, so here's a little close-up of what this neckline looks like. As you can see, it's like a little tube that goes around, and it is quite flexible, maybe not as stretchy as a regular rib neck would be, but it has a bit of give, so it's enough to get my head through and still be quite comfortable. So let's learn how to make it. Here I have a small sample, and it just has single crochets around on the chain. Now when I reach the end of the round, I will not join on the first stitch like you usually would when working in circles. Instead, we are going to work in spiral. So I will use a scrap piece of yarn to mark my first stitch by putting it on top of my working yarn like this, and I will start my first stitch. Now for this technique, we are going to work with back post single crochets. So for that, we need to enter the stitch through the back of it, next to the slip stitch on the first one, and then all the way back, pass my yarn through, and single crochet. Now I'll show you again. Here's my stitch, right? And that's the post of the stitch. So I go through the back in between the previous post and the next post. I hug it and go back, yarn over, and then pass all the way to the back again. I'll show you again. It gets simpler the more you try. Through the back, hug the post, go to the back, yarn over, and then pass through. And that's it. Those are back post single crochets. So I will work a whole row of these. Okay, now that I have reached my marker for the first stitch, I simply pass it over again over my working yarn to mark that first stitch, and do it again. Do another back post single crochet row. So I'm going to have a total of 4 rows, single crochet, back post, single crochet. Okay, so I'm going to do it now, and then I'll show you what to do next. Alright guys, so I have finished my 4 rows of back post single crochets. Now, if you wanted to do this as an edging, like I have done on my sweater, if you look at the bottom here, this is the edging, and this is the same as this. I just stopped there and didn't continue to make it into a tube, and it kind of curls up on its own. So it looks a bit tubey, but it's not. So if you wanted to stop there, that would be great. However, for the neckline, you're going to continue working after it, so you do want to join it together. So if you wanted to stop, you simply slip stitch and fasten off and cut, right? But because we are going to continue, we're going to remove our marker, fold this kind of within itself, and we're going to join the back loop of our last row or round with the starting chain, that unused loop, and single crochet. Again, that back loop of the last row and the starting chain and single crochet. So you're going to do that all around. It's a little bit hard sometimes to see that chain where it is, but you know, as long as you get close to it, join them together with a single crochet. So I will do that all around. Alright, you now have your little donut. Now you're just going to slip stitch on the first stitch, and if you wanted to finish there for some kind of fun project, you could finish there, but if you're using this as a neckline, then you simply continue working around on those single crochets that you made at the end. Now, something to keep in mind is that the back post single crochets do tighten the stitch quite a bit. So for example, on my sweater, I used a 4.5 for the neckline and a 4mm hook for the rest of the work to get the gauge. So I wanted this to be a bit looser, so I used a bigger hook. But for the bottom, I wanted it to be a bit scrunched up. So instead of going down a size, I stuck with the same size, and the bottom did shrink enough to make it a bit tighter around my waist. As you can see, it kind of goes in a little bit like that. So it depends on what you want to do. If you want it tighter, then stick with the same hook. But if you want the neckline to be loose, then go up, you know, 0.5 millimeter or even 1 millimeter if you wanted extra stretchiness at it. Alright guys, well that was our I-cord cast on. I forgot to tell you, I only did 4 rows around, or 4 rounds of back post single crochets, but if you wanted a thicker tube, you can do, you know, 5, 6, whatever many rounds, and then just, you know, work them together so that that little tube gets bigger. And that will also look quite cute. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you found it useful and you can actually use this technique in your own crocheting. And I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.